Hey everybody, it's Marty the Party here, and Rhett, my cohort, my buddy, coding pal. Um, she likes to sit back there and start to just monitor me, make sure that I'm not getting too excited. A lot of times, actually, if I do start to get really um, intense, she'll start getting really intense, and she sort of kind of pulls me out of it. So that's kind of cool. But, anyways, what we're looking at here is the report from the last unit test run. And it's not great. It's not terrible, but it's definitely terrible on the branches here. But one of the things that I just enjoy in general is fixing unit tests and stuff and getting them working. I don't know why. It's just a really good feeling. And it looks like everything is fine in app and 3, but it's not fine in utilities. Now, I would definitely say that everything isn't fine in app and 3, um, but it's green. I definitely feel like in both of those cases, well, at least in 3, I probably should build out. I think it's 100% just only because it's the the uh, all the functions get called from the app. But it would be nice if they had their own functions. But I think the best thing to do would be to start where you have the most problems. And it looks like this recyclable sequence service is where we have our problems. And basically, 66 out of 9 statements get executed, 0 out of 4 branches get crossed, and 50% of the functions get um, executed, and there's 2 of them, only 1 out of 2 of them, and then of the 8 lines, I don't know what the difference between a statement and a line is. I think a statement must be a declaration or something. Lines are 5 out of 8. So let's go back in here, and this is where it all happens. I guess the statement must be the recycle ID. So, um, probably that I believe we need a function that a test for that even calls recycle ID. And it is recycled IDs, recycled IDs. That's a that. Um, so I guess the first thing to do though is we need to generate an ID. So let's name this. It should generate an ID. And then we will pass it a function. And it took me forever. I remember just probably 10 years ago when I was making when I was, working at a place and we were doing these things, it taking forever for me to realize, oh, that's a function we're passing in. I don't know. Well, I guess I just wasn't really familiar with this whole currying and stuff like that. I definitely have come a long way since then. So in our service, basically, we want to call generate ID and get a value. So I'm going to say const ID is equal to service. Can I just call it? Do I have to say this service? Doesn't look like I have to say get. Oh, am I in the wrong? I'm in the wrong. In the wrong test. We're in the renderer service, and we want to be in the recycle sequence service. We probably will do some stuff in there, but we want to be over here, up in here. Um, so I did if again. Boy, it's just amazing how I felt like they were double quotes over there. Should generate an ID, comma. I kind of like have. I used to not be OCD at all. Like Like I could not, literally could not care less if it was like this. Like I was completely blind. Like I was blind to white space. Um, you know, like if there's it, like this, the way things were lined up and all that, and I've become like sort of OCD by proxy. Like I just have worked in enough places where, um, like it just freaked out my fellow workers that now I'm like it doesn't freak me out. It freaks me out that other people are going to get freaked out. So I guess it is a bit of a virus. Like if somebody has OCD around you, and then you're like, oh, um, and then you're like you get sort of like triggered by the fact that they get upset. Um, ID, then I guess, and you know what's going to accept them, and the thing that is going to upset them isn't something that probably they should care about. Um, then uh, and then I guess then I guess you've kind of got OCD by proxy. Um, see, ID. Oh, my cat has decided to say hi, but she doesn't want me to pick her up. ID, and then I think it's like to be expect ID. Wonder why I can't say to be. I thought there was like a greater than. Greater than 0. I don't know. I don't know. It's a shame. I don't. It'd be interesting. It would be nice to get that working. So, did you mean greater than? Sure, if that'll work. So now my ID has magically fixed itself. It's still not fixed here, and it just says that and doesn't offer. So that is very strange. So it ran, and it doesn't know what greater than. Doesn't know what greater than is. To be truthy. So let's try to be greater than. To be greater than. It seems like something good is happening there. And 0. And then so then I'm just going to create another one, because that didn't actually help me at all. I don't think. Maybe my numbers got a little better. I'm not sure. But, well, I guess you have to refresh these pages. Yeah, see, the length is still less than 0. So we're going to call this again. I'm going to say ID2. And then I guess just to kind of maintain some consistency, we'll call that ID1. ID1. And then we want ID2 to be greater than ID1. And it's kind of weird, right? Like, I don't know about this because, like, it's not really a requirement of the thing. They just need to not be equal. They do both need to be greater than 0, because it would be probably problematic to have a 0 index. Well, I don't know. All right, so it looks like we saw some kind of improvement, I think. No, because still 0. Let's see. I feel like that one should have been called at this point. Because the length of this ID should have been there. So let's go in here and just, I guess we could probably make a console log. if we get in there, we should see that console log in our console. So I did not see it ever happen. This is not changing. And then I believe, but there's another, this guy right here. Inspect. And let's look at the console on this guy. And then we'll add a question mark here. And I didn't really pay attention if we actually had another should generate an ID. So we did get this one. What happens if I click on this? What does that do? I guess it runs that. So we didn't get a console log. Let's see. Let's put one up here. But we'll put like an X in front of the question mark. Oh, my little tricks that yeah, there we go. So yeah, so it did run this like 4 times, but it never got past this. So let's see, we could do a comma. And then the length, because I don't understand why in the time when I call them back to back, so it's 0 every time. And then I believe that we can also come in here. And can we say generate one? I think we can say console log in here. Gen1. It's kind of crazy because, you know, I haven't done these things in a while, so it's like, you know, I'm just kind of coming back up to speed on how all this works. I'm really annoyed by this. I probably need to update one of my plugins, would be my guess. Like I probably have like a plugin for an old version of Angular. See, there's the Gen 2. All right, so then I think what we want to do is wait for this to come back. Okay, so yeah, so the first one was 1. The second one was 2. So what I don't understand was then, okay, maybe I don't understand this code as well as I thought I did. Return this current ID. Oh, it never added it to the oh. So it doesn't add. Okay, so it's this. So yes, I did not understand this code as thought as I did, thought as well as I thought I did. You don't get to recycle. I mean, it doesn't. So this code kind of works a little bit backwards of the way I've done it. I would have done it. It adds, and it's just way better than I would have done it. It only adds the recycled IDs if there's an ID that's recycled. So basically, it does. Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, I'm a silly goose. So I need to recycle my ID if I want to get um, that. So that means my whole question was wrong anyways. This should generate an ID. Um, okay, so I feel like that's a good one anyways. Um, but then we should recycle an ID. And we don't really need to do it twice. And just to be clear, when you get to the second test, it's a whole new instance the of the of Karma. I mean of the service. So you don't um, so you know like you I don't believe like if I do generate an ID down here on this one, it won't continue because this before each basically has it rebuild. And if you do not do that, you will get some weird um, results with different. You could get results with different um, tests interacting with each other and should be, I guess, not equal. Let's see if not equal works. Cool. And then we'll just leave it as this. I don't know if it'll get upset that these two names should recycle. Is it currently trying to work? Is that what's happening down here? Oh, so not equal is okay. So let's go to Chat GPT. Oh, I don't want to use this one because it won't have my history in there. Which I don't know. That might be a good thing. I'm not sure. So this will definitely get a lot faster in the future. So so I'm curious what it'll just how it'll respond to that. So it's called a matcher. That was what I was curious. What the word for? So this is a matcher. Um, what is the matcher? Matcher function for not equal. Not two equal. So it could be, I guess it's dot not, or it could be 2b. Okay, so not. So it's like two equal, like that, but then you put a not in between. Let's go back over here. Thank you very much, ChatGPT. Okay, so then, okay, this we want to recycle between, right? So basically we want to move this guy down here to after the after ID1 test. And then we want to say that ID service dot recycle ID and ID1, right? And then, so that's a primitive. I believe this is a primitive. I mean, this is a primitive, so I don't think it'll change. If this was an object, this would not work. But now we should be to equal. And then we probably should say, well, I mean, I think if you recycle it and then you run the next line, gets a new one. And we'll see if that works. I mean, that's what I think should happen. It should. Okay, so everything passed. Should recycle an ID. Now let's go back over to this guy here. And we are 100% perfect score. Gold star. 100. So we got 100. Yeah. Yeah. So we got 100%. So that's good. And this, and all of these tests are run so this thing tests itself. And so now the renderer service, like all it checks to see is if we're truthy, but we really should get a renderer and then get a renderer for ID and you know, check to see if they're equal somehow. I don't know how we're going to check to see if they're equal. But should, because basically we're getting a 3 renderer. So a 3 renderer, who in the world knows what? I'm trying to watch my language. And I actually had started to mention that one nice thing about a parrot, if you don't want to have like bad language, is that they will help you moderate your language because they like to repeat words that you say with a lot of emphasis. But they don't just start, like they can't mimic right off the bat. So if you say a word like a cuss word or a word that, you know, then what'll happen is you'll start to hear them starting to put it together. It'll take them like a week or two, maybe a month, before they can say the word. And as you hear them starting to say that word, you're like, oh man, I don't want them saying that, like in public or whatever. And then you will moderate yourself, and it really has helped. But let's see what our time is today. 23 minutes. Yay, B. We're 90 seconds away from a C, so I guess I better log off. We have 100% test coverage. The next video, I guess I'll probably spend the time the same. So I do understand this a million times better, right? I actually had a deep misunderstanding of how that code worked. And after working through unit tests, I clearly do understand how that code works. So I think it is important to do the same thing for the renderer service. Have it execute all these things, and then somehow do some sort of analysis on the. Actually, I guess it really can't, because I can't. Yeah. So I guess I'll just make sure that I get my a renderer back. I can't really tell. I'll get an ID and then I'll get my renderer, and I'll just make sure I have a renderer, and that'll run everything. And then this thing will have, see, as you see, I'm getting a little more animated because I'm trying to hurry because I only have 32 seconds before I get a C. So happy coding, everybody. Bye.